After driving 2,000 miles in 3 days across the U.S., we were relieved to visit family in Georgia. Our plan was to spend a week in Georgia before traveling down to Florida for our final preparations for my journey to fish all 50 states with my dad. But when the engine started to make a noise, we began to worry about what that might be and how we could fix it. The last thing we wanted was to have another breakdown.
We made it to Georgia. Obviously, you've seen the video, me hugging my mom. But one thing that happened on our trip across the country that I never brought up in the video because I didn't want to worry about it at that point in time, but the RV started to make a funny noise about the end of our trip when we were in Mississippi. And I didn't want to freak out then and worry about it. I didn't want to film it just yet, but I want to talk about it right now. I am a little worried about that noise. We made it here safely. It seems to be running fine. It's just a new noise. It sounds like valve train, like a lifter, basically like a tapping noise is what it sounds like. I've looked up possible issues with this engine. I've watched videos. I've pointed it down to that it could be a timing chain issue. It could be this engine is known to blow out spark plugs. I have looked up that spark plug issue. It's been known that when the engine gets a little hot, the spark plugs tend to loosen up and then they'll start to rattle inside the engine. And I'm really hoping that that's what it is, because it could be as simple as just tightening that spark plug. It also might be time for a tune-up for this engine. You know, it's a 1999. We just rolled over 80,000 miles. It's 25 years old. I don't know if any of that has ever been replaced. I don't think it has. So it just might be time that it needs that. I'm also super worried that it could be valve train issues. It could be there's a bad lifter. It could be there's another part that connects with the lifter that like a roller that could be gone bad, and I really hope that's not what it is, because we really don't have the money to pour into the engine right now. We do have the money. We could stop and put the money into the engine, but the thing is then I can't complete my trip with my dad. And that's really weighing on me. It's really important that I do this and that I'm able to grieve and forgive myself and just help, just help grieve my dad. Like, I really want to do this trip, but if we have to put that money into the RV, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm not going to be able to do it this year, and it's just going to keep getting pushed off and pushed back and pushed back, and I've already pushed it back for a year. I wanted to do this trip last year, and, we decided the best thing to do was to stop and work and put more money in the bank, and then as soon as we left that job, it was like, bam, $8,000 into my teeth. It was like we worked our behinds off this past summer just to put money away so I could do this trip. And then that happens with my teeth. And it took literally more than half of what we made this summer for that dental work. We also had to do some suspension work on the RV, brake work, suspension work, the axle seals, which was fine. It wasn't horrible, but that money also had to go into it. And now the engine is making this new sound, and I'm just slightly freaking out that this summer I'm not going to be able to do my trip. We're going to have to stop and work somewhere. And it's just like every time I feel like we're getting ahead, something sets us back. And I know that's life, but it just constantly happens to us. And it's like every time we try to grow our business, we have to work for someone else, and it just keeps pushing back, getting our business built up and making money so that we can sustain this life that we want. Like, I can't imagine living a different life. Like, I love this lifestyle, and it sucks because we just keep hitting roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. And then I think about my mom and this lifestyle, and what if I lose her? And that would just destroy me after losing my dad and not being able to say goodbye. So I'm thinking, you know, why don't we just stay in Georgia so I can be around my mom for a little while longer, you know? I don't really know what to do. It's really hard. This is really, really, really hard. But I'm hoping today we have, you know, we're in a good spot where my mom and my sister are. I have a lot of family here. They know the area really well. I'm hoping that if we do need to get a mechanic here, we can find a good one. I mean, that's really one of my biggest fears, is finding the right person that will work on the RV and not basically steal all of our money. Like, you know, we had issues with our pickup truck when we had our truck camper, where we had a dealership. We basically broke down in the middle of nowhere where we knew one. We couldn't find a good mechanic. You know, we did find a good mechanic, but they were too busy to work on it. And then we had to go to this Ford dealership, and they told us our engine was done. We needed a new engine in our truck or to buy a new truck. And they lied to us. And we can't go through that again. Can't go through that. And I'm so afraid that this is going to turn into something catastrophic if we don't get it fixed now, if we try to keep driving on it to Jacksonville, to Florida. And I just, oh man. I just hope and I pray that this ends up being some stupid simple fix. Like, I just hope it's just a loose spark plug. And we just tighten it down and we can continue on. You know, it's been such a good RV to us. The engine has been amazing. We haven't had any issues with it. And then bam, out of nowhere, this sound starts up. I mean, we've literally put almost 40,000 miles on this motorhome with no issues with the engine. And yeah, I know the time comes where you got to put, you know, we've taken care of it. We've done the oil changes. We've done everything maintenance wise that we could do. All fluids have been changed, you know. And gosh, man, I hope this isn't the end, because I'm afraid it's going to be. I'm afraid it's going to be. So today we are taking our RV to a mechanic to have it looked at. We still have to make the drive from Georgia to Florida, and I don't even know if it's safe to drive the RV just that 4 hours to Jacksonville from Atlanta. And so I called a mechanic today. My family here has a mechanic that they know and they trust. And I called them, and they said that they are willing to look at it. It is really hard finding a mechanic just on a whim to work on these Class C motorhomes. A lot of the mechanics, like, as soon as you call them and you tell them what they have and you say it's a motorhome, they're usually like, nope, we don't have a way to look at it, you know. It won't fit on our lift, or it won't fit on our bay, or they just don't want to work on it at all. So it has been a struggle finding, you know, big rig mechanics to work on a 30-foot motorhome like this. I luckily was able to find one. They said as long as it fits in the bay, they are willing to look at it and work on it. And I'm hoping that the noise is just something super simple, that it's just the spark plugs. We just hit 80,000 miles. We've had this motorhome for 3 years, and we've put close to 40,000 miles on it in the past 3 years, and it's been an amazing engine. It has never let us down. It has never run bad. It has always been a spectacular engine. So I'm hoping that it just needs maintenance. It just needs new spark plugs, wires, and coils. So we're going to go have that looked at. Come along with us. So we drove our RV to that mechanic that said that they would look at it. It would not fit into their shop bay. The door was not tall enough. It was only 10 feet tall. And our motorhome is 11.6, so it was not going to fit. But they were super nice guys. He said that he would listen to it, so he got out his mechanic's stethoscope and his engine scanner, and I knew it wasn't going to throw or show any new engine codes, and sure enough, when he put the engine scanner on there, it didn't show anything new or anything weird going on. And then we ran it for him, and he listened to it, and we kind of pinpointed where the ticking noise was coming from. It was definitely coming from the engine on the passenger side. It is a V10, so there's 5 cylinders on, the passenger side, 5 on the driver's side, and the noise is definitely coming from the back end of the passenger side. So we just need to figure out where exactly. I'm hoping it's just a spark plug that is starting to come loose and it's like rattling or pinging in there. The mechanic said that he thought it might be not a lifter, but there's like this lash adjuster roller that sits on top of the lifter, and one of those could be going bad, and that could be making the ticking noise. I hope it's not that complicated, because if it is that, they're going to have to tear off the valve covers and get inside the engine, and it's just a whole ordeal. And man, we have to get the engine right on this thing before I start my fishing trip this summer, because we're going to definitely be putting some miles on this RV, and plus next year. And it's our home, and we need to be in top shape. And I'm just terrified that this is going to end up being something catastrophic. And it's just really hard. So I'm hoping that it's just a spark plug. And we have my niece's husband is coming over to take a look at it, and he's going to check the spark plugs for us. The motorhomes have a doghouse, so it's easier to reach the back of the engine, thankfully. So we're going to take the doghouse off, and we're going to try to really pinpoint where that ticking's coming from, and hopefully it's just a spark plug that is starting to go bad. So let's get in there and take a look at it. I don't think it goes back any further.
Our gangster lean's already on.
Well, because of our water container. So, there we go. There she is.
It's so crazy that thing rides right there.
Yeah. Well, it gets hot. Definitely gets hot. Wouldn't it be cool if it was just a fan or something?
It's gonna be a coil pack.
It's a coil, it's a spark plug. It's a spark plug then. That's what it is.
Sometimes it just pays to feel around.
It's not too hot yet. It just got better.
It started shaking.
But the noise just went away. The noise is gone. The noise is gone.
You want me to pull it out?
Pull it out.
Cool pack.
If you want, if you think you can put it back on. I mean, can you tell if they're bad by looking at them?
You can go buy one, stick it in the hole,
Oh, okay.
see if that works.
Yeah. But do you think it's that same one you just tightened down, or it's a different one?
Yeah, it's still clicking. The rest of them, you put your hand on, it doesn't click. The one we're messing with is clicking.
Oh, you can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I think it's a spark plug. But we can go buy a coil pack.
It's gonna be that. I mean, we can go ahead and do the spark plug, but I don't know how much we gotta take off of this.
Yeah. I
to
just,
get over there.
I know, that's what I'm afraid of. If I can find a Ford certified.
Because it's not a problem doing 1, 2, and maybe the third one I'm doing, but the fourth, fifth one down there,
I know,
two more up there,
I just worry about the threads.
is makes everything twice as hard.
I just worry about the threads, because what happens if we can't get them back in, you know? Then we can't move this thing at all.
Well, the good thing is you're doing it at 80,000 miles and not like 150,000 miles.
What does that mean? What do you
Where
mean?
the spark plugs are really cooked in there.
Oh, yeah. That's what you're saying, yeah. Yeah, you typed it. All right. Please, Jesus. Please, Jesus. Ready? Chris. Where'd he go? All right. It's freaking gone! It's freaking gone! You've got to be kidding me! The noise is gone. The noise is gone. I'm pretty sure it's gone. That's just engine noise, right? Or am I wrong? There it goes. It's only intermittent now. No, it's not that high pitch sticking. I got really excited when Jesse, my niece's husband, was working on the RV because it sounded like the sound completely went away on the engine. It didn't go completely away, but it definitely really improved when he applied pressure to the coil pack that was above. The coil packs sit above the spark plugs and they supply electricity to the spark plugs, and when he tightened down and then applied pressure to that coil pack, it made the sound almost completely go away. And that made me think that it is a spark plug issue. So the complications with it being a spark plug is I am terrified to drive this RV from Atlanta to Jacksonville, Florida, because I'm afraid that if that spark plug is the culprit and it's ticking, it means that it's loose and it's wiggling around in that cylinder head or in the valve or wherever it sits in the top end of the engine. And I'm afraid that while we are driving it to Florida, that it will basically shoot out. It is a common issue with the Ford V10 6.8 liter engine, but I'm really afraid that it's starting to strip the threads on the aluminum head, and that the spark plug's going to shoot out while we are driving it. And if that happens, we're in a lot of trouble. So then we're stuck on the side of the road somewhere, and we have to get a tow truck. We have to figure out where we're going to tow the RV to. It could cost a lot of money. That is my biggest fear with this. Honestly, to me, that is the best case scenario, that it is a spark plug, because if I can find somebody to work on it and just change out the spark plugs, then we're golden. That's all we need to do, right? I did call a mechanic that I know of near Jacksonville, Florida, and immediately when I told him that it was a motorhome, he immediately told me no. So today I called a diesel and Ford mechanic that's close to my sister's house here just north of Atlanta, and super, super, super nice guy. I told him our situation. I told him that
it was a 6.8 liter V10 and a motorhome. He didn't tell me no. I noticed that when I looked up the shop, they actually have RV storage on their lot. So I know that they don't mind RVs because of that. So that's why I called them. And it turns out that he knows the Ford engines very well. He knows the spark plug issue. He actually has the kit in his mechanic shop to fix the thread issue and these aluminum heads on this engine. And I knew right away that if we could get the RV into him, that this would be our guy. Fortunately and unfortunately, he's here in Atlanta, and we have to be in Florida. We were planning on leaving here to drive to Florida on Monday. That's in 4 days. And he told me that he was booked out until next week. There is a chance that we can leave the RV here. He has a storage facility, so we could drop off the RV at his shop, store it there for a week, and then when he has the time, he can work on it, and then we can pick it back up. Thankfully, we have our car. We have a tow car now, so basically what we could do is we could pack what we need into our car, drive to Chris's parents' house in Florida. We have a place to stay. We have a room. We don't need the RV. So we could leave it here with the mechanic and then pick it up when it's done being worked on. I honestly think that is the best case scenario for us. These guys sounded really great on the phone. They knew the engine. I feel like I can trust them, even though we don't necessarily know anyone that takes their vehicles to them. That's just another thing with not knowing, the area and the mechanics, is just getting taken advantage of. But I did not feel like when I talked to this guy on the phone that he was going to do that. In fact, he told me he really wanted to look at it and to drive the RV over tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. and he would look at it and really pinpoint and figure out if it is definitely a loose spark plug. And that right there, it just sold me. Chris and I were going to pack up the RV in the morning. It's mostly packed up. It's pretty much we can just drive it off. So we're going to take it over to that shop tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We're going to leave the doghouse loose, just kind of put it back over so it's easier to take off, and just have it ready to look at and pinpoint the issue. And hopefully we can get this fixed before my big summer trip. It is a bright and beautiful morning today. It has been raining for like the past 3 days, and it hasn't been fun. I'm not really a winter rainy weather lover, or maybe this is like spring rain, but it's been kind of chilly. I'm about to feed the dogs, and then as soon as I feed the dogs, we are gonna head out to the mechanic, and hopefully we get some good news. Wait. Okay. Camper's all put away, and I'm gonna grab a jacket because it is a little chilly outside, and I think we're ready to go.
Camper's put away. Look at you.
Yep.
Where is my wife? Where'd she go?
What? Whatever.
I got coffee delivered to me this morning. You cleaned the camper before I got here.
Well,
Only
kind
thing-
of. I put things away.
Only thing you could have done better. Could have fed my dogs.
I fed them.
Are you kidding me?
I told you I fed them.
You fed my dogs?
That's why they're in here.
Where?
Shut up.
Where did my wife go? Where is she? Where's my wife? Spark plugs.
Well, we have good news and we have bad news.
Spark plugs.
The good news is that we can drive the RV to Florida.
And we know what we're up against.
And we know what we're up against.
To some degree.
Bad news is we just found out it's the transmission.
What a year.
Yeah, it's been a wild year.
What a year.
A really wild year.
Whoever buys this RV from us is going to have
They're gonna have
a really
a
good
brand new RV.
brand new RV because of all the stuff that we've done just to get it back to even.
Yeah.
We we've taken care of this. That's the frustrating thing.
Yeah,
that's all I could think about.
And we just had the transmission serviced. You can tell when you take off the doghouse, and this mechanic pointed it out. Super, super nice guy, by the way. Like, amazing that he helped us. He said he loves to help travelers. He doesn't want anybody to be stranded, and he helped us out. He had this really cool little ear machine. I don't know what an ear machine. This little headphone set that's connected to this, metal stick, and you put it on the parts of the engine, and it pinpoints where the sound is. And
you can hear
the sound was definitely coming from the transmission, where the transmission meets with the engine. And he said, and then when he deep dived into the codes, it was throwing codes for the transmission. And apparently our engine scanner does not pick up transmission codes. So we might want to look into...
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, we got some other things to decide before we look into the new code reader.
So, I mentioned, do you think it might be the torque converter? And he said, yeah, it could be, but the whole transmission has to come off to replace that. And he said you might as well just put a new transmission in at that point. So, that's what we're looking at. And, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know. I'm still processing.
We're still processing it. We just found this out.
12-minute drive home.
12 minutes ago.
Wasn't long enough for me to figure out any idea of what or how or... Good news is...
But I forgot to mention, when you look under the doghouse, you can see this vent valve on the top of the transmission, and you can tell that fluid has leaked out of that.
It's just getting hot, is what he was saying.
It's basically saying that the engine was getting hot, and the fluid was coming up out of the relief valve, or the vent valve. So the transmission has gotten hot at some point.
We do have a mechanic friend on the side.
Yeah, we do have a friend
who has a transmission. He says it might fit.
Yeah, might is the word.
Might, and then getting it installed, and what company's going to take
a transmission that they don't know.
That they don't know, and they're definitely not going to warranty it. So we'd be potentially giving up. I just don't know. I can't even think about what it's going to cost and what time, if this is going to set us back in time. We're starting to confirm your dates.
Yeah, and this is why we hate making plans.
Because things like this happen.
Because this crap happens to us.
This is happening more frequently, which tells me either we're on the right path or we're way off. We're way off. And I don't have any other clue what other path to be on right now. I feel like we're on the path we're supposed to be. I
get it. You know what I mean? Like, if we lived in a house, our AC would break.
The roof
would Our fridge would break. Our roof would need to be replaced. And this is our house. So we haven't put much into it besides remodeling it. In the past 3 years, the engine has been so good to us. We've done suspension work earlier this year. And then now this.
Oh, like I said, we've kept up with the fluids in the belt. And
we've babied this thing.
All the filters, air filter, the fuel filters, all the stuff that we know to do and can do.
All the maintenance we've done.
To keep up with it and make it more of a preventative basis. Because we've dealt with this with our 7.3. It was one thing after another where we spent...
Yeah, the 7.3 was
We bought it for $7,000 and we put at least $15,000 into... fixing it.
That truck was a money pit.
So we said, this one, let's do better, take better care of it from the start, and we did. There's a lot I don't know right now, and that's frustrating. Because there's a lot of opportunities in front of me that are not.
All right. Well, that's all we have
Yeah.
right now. We gotta really think through things, pray through things, and figure out what's next, because this is really throwing a wrench.
It'd be nice if it was a literal wrench, because then we could just grab the wrench and remove it.
Yeah,
but
it's not.
It's not a little wrench.
I was looking up transmission shops that are near Orange Park, Florida, or in the Jacksonville, Florida area. and I found one that does Jasper transmissions. The Jasper transmissions come with a 3-year and 100,000 mile warranty, and they have shops located all over the United States. So if we were to ever have issues, if we needed to buy a new transmission, and if we were to have issues on the road, it would be covered under warranty anywhere in the US. So if it does lead to that, that's what we're hoping to do, is to maybe go with the Jasper transmission. I did find a shop that's nearby, within like 6 miles of Chris's parents' house. So I'm going to give them a call and find out if they'll even look at the motorhome and see what the issue is once we get back to Florida. Hi, I have a motorhome with the Ford V10 engine in it, and it started making a ticking noise recently. And I just had a mechanic look at it this morning, and we pinpointed it that the sound was possibly coming from the transmission, or pretty sure it's coming from there. So I'm just trying to find somebody that could maybe take a deeper look into that for me. It's hard finding anyone that will work on a motorhome. So, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm in the Orange Park area, but right now I'm in Georgia, so I have to drive it from just north of Atlanta to Florida. We just drove it across basically from California to here, and it started making the noise like in the middle of that drive. Okay. I mean, as long as nothing happens when we drive it from here to Jacksonville, I should be able to drive it to you. Yeah, but it won't be, we're leaving Monday, so it'll probably be Tuesday. Okay.
Yes, ma'am?
Awesome. I know the area.
Can I get a baby?
Okay.
I have one right
Perfect.
here.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Bye. I think I found the right guy. Whew. Called the first place. Well, the first place, the phone line was disconnected. Just called a second place that they work on big rigs. They work on semi-trucks and other trucks. So I'm like, no way. The shop is definitely large enough for a motorhome if they work on semis. He said he'll look at it, and he said he's even mobile. So I think we found the right guy. And he's close to Chris's parents' house. So, looking good. And he thinks it might be an exhaust leak, which would be amazing. That's all it is. So here's hoping it's good news. And try not to worry and stress out and cry as much as I have. Yeah. Hopefully, I'm hoping this is good news. So, we are leaving here. Today's Friday. We are leaving Monday, so we are leaving in the next couple of days. I think we won't have any issues driving it from here to Florida. And then that's Monday, and then hopefully we can drive it over to this guy's shop on Tuesday. And hopefully get it figured out soon. I'll be so relieved. And we just broke down. Middle of downtown Atlanta. Worst nightmare. Did not think this was gonna happen. It is 7:15 a.m. and the engine just made a popping noise and started running like absolute crap. And my sister's calling me. Hey. It's alright. Yeah, we're in the middle of downtown Atlanta and the engine just completely stopped. It made a popping noise and it's running like crap. So You might see us. We might be coming back. Because I don't. Yeah, we have a car. We have a car. I mean, but we still got to get this thing towed. I don't know. We're gonna call our roadside. All right. All right. Okay. Well, we're right by the Georgia State University is where we are. So, yeah. Okay. Alright. 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 That was my sister. Try to figure something out. And we're calling, we have Progressive Insurance. So we're calling our roadside. And, I mean, at least we have our tow car. So I just hate leaving the RV here.
I don't even know where
I know. Yeah, I don't even know where we're gonna. They're obviously gonna want to tow us to somewhere nearest, nearest mechanic, which is gonna stink because I don't want this anywhere in Atlanta. I'd rather it be near my sister's house.
Yes.
See what they say. View out our window. On the highway. Wonderful.
If you're calling for service for an auto, press 1. If you're calling for service for a motorcycle, motorhome, or trailer, press 2. If you're calling for service, please listen closely to the following options before making your selection. If you are calling for roadside service, press 1. For instructions regarding road, if this is a medical emergency or your safety is at risk, hang up now and call 911. This call and any subsequent calls may be recorded. Are you looking to open a new roadside assistance request? To continue to complete your service request, do you want to cancel or continue to process your request?
Continue, representative.
Let me connect you to an agent. Hi, my name is Fred Progressive.
Hi, this is Chris. Yes, sort of. I'm on the side of the interstate. So yes. On the highway. I-75 and I-20. I-75 south. We're at the turnoff for I-20. So right downtown. Oh, sorry, that's Atlanta, Georgia. A repair company, but we don't know where yet. We're trying to figure that out.
Nobody's open.
And nothing's open right now. No, because only certain people work on motorhomes of this kind, so we need to find the right person.
We know of one, but they're in Woodstock.
Do we know that they'll work on it?
Yeah, he'll
Okay.
work on it.
So we do know of one. $120.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this coverage only covers 15 miles.
Wow.
Okay, I'm gonna get rid of Progressive.
Yep.
That's outrageous. They're gonna know this is a big motorhome, like a 30-foot motorhome. Okay. Yes, it's a 30-foot Class C motorhome. Okay, will you stay on the phone until I get it? Okay, how do I connect with Motorhome Specialty Team, whether you or someone else? So for $120, we could have got our membership with either Good Sam, or we're looking into another RV club, and that would have had far more towing coverage than this. Progressive covers 15 miles, so if we were in the middle of Kansas, driving to Colorado and this happened, it would cost us hundreds, thousands of dollars for this. So I'm not pleased with Progressive, and we bought our Progressive insurance for our RV through Good Sam. So we're gonna rethink how we've insured our vehicle. All right, I have to do credit card information first, of course, before they care about picking us up. So I'm gonna go do that. Well, I just got a text that the towing company has been notified and they know where we are and where we need to go. But it's gonna be 90 to 120 minutes, so an hour and a half to 2 hours. Not to be unexpected, or not whatever the word is, because we are a big rig. Just making sure we get the right person to tow us that knows that they're towing a motorhome. But anyway, we're in that time we're going to be packing. The good news, as Lindsay said, is we do have our tow car, so we can load everything up in the CRV at least. If this had happened without the tow car, we'd really be screwed. Well, I guess that's what hopefully our Roadside would cover, a rental vehicle for some period of time. But I'm not impressed with it so far. So we are going to pack. We're going to get everything that we don't need out of the CRV moved into the camper, and we're going to move everything we need from the camper into the CRV. That will hopefully be, a week, maybe a week and a half. This was our plan A/B. If we could have got this mechanic to do the work, he wasn't going to be able to work on it until later in the week. So the idea was that we would leave the motorhome with him this week, and today Lindsay and I were going to drive the car down with the dogs down to Florida and then come back later when the motorhome was fixed. He told us it was a transmission issue and he didn't work on transmissions, but now we know for sure it's not transmission, it's definitely an engine issue, and we feel like he knows the engine really well. So it's just a matter of us adjusting to the situation. Typically, I'm not gonna lie, when I heard that sound, my heart just sank into my stomach and whatever. We've been here before, we've had a major breakdown, and it wasn't the same sound, but it was a sound like that causes you to say, what the heck? And you pull over, and the first thing we want to do is freak out. And so we allowed ourselves a little bit of room to panic, and then took a deep breath and prayed. That's our go-to, is, everything in life I'm learning at 42 years old, everything in life that comes along, aside from, from death, from the biggest catastrophe, it's just a function of time and money, and inconvenience falls in between both of those. So we don't have a lot of money to be able to spend on fixing this. We'd rather not have to spend money that we've saved to travel for Lindsay's fishing trip, but it's money, and then it's the time that it's going to take to fix it. But we were planning on parking this in my parents' driveway for 3 weeks or so while we were visiting. So it's, now it's more the inconvenience of having to get this towed, and just trusting that the mechanic is willing and able to work on it. And, once those two things are checked, I'll be okay. We'll get in the car, we'll drive down to Florida, and we'll carry on with plan A/B, which is now plan A. And if that doesn't work out, I don't know what we'll do. But the big idea, I think, of this moment is Lindsay and I are prone to coming into these situations as full-time RVers. It's what you have to expect at some point. This would be like if we were in a house and the water heater rusted out on the bottom and came flooding down through the ceiling, or the roof had a major leak and you had mold or mildew, or there's always something with the house. So this is it. It just sucks that our house is on wheels and that we rely on it to get us from point A to point B. And today we cruised through Atlanta. We were making good time getting through the city without all the traffic, and then at the very southern end of the city, right at the turnoff for I-20, boom, that's where it happened. So we're gonna deal with it, and I'm expecting the highway patrol to show up soon. They're ticketing somebody behind us, so I'm sure once he gets that done, they're gonna show up, and we're gonna let them know everything's moving, and hopefully everything will be taken care of. So on to the packing.
We are packing everything up. Thankfully, we do have this portable fridge freezer here. We have too much food, so it is packed to the brim, and then Chris piled all this on top of it. It is I don't know how it's shutting. It's so full. And I still have more food in the fridge that I don't know what to do with because it won't fit in my portable freezer. So I guess it's just gonna have to go into a bag. And then we've got clothes, bags of toiletries, more clothes that I'm packing up here. Chris has got the tow car open. We've got all this stuff. This stuff my mom gave me to give to my brother. More bags of toiletries. Fun. Cops are driving by, but nobody's pulling over to check up on us. I guess I don't know, maybe because we're in a motorhome and not just a car. Maybe they think we're okay. I don't know. But the cop that was sitting down there behind us is gone and never came over here. So I keep packing. I don't know if we're gonna be able to fit all this. Oh man. Got too much stuff. So I called the mechanic the last mechanic that we took our RV to, that told us that it was not a spark plug. It sounded like it was coming from the transmission. And he acted like he couldn't help us, and he recommended we take it to Peach Street, which is like a big truck repair shop. And they have all the reviews online are bad. Try to do the right thing and still get screwed. It is what it is. Never works out the easy way with us. Never. Never. Life on the road. Wonderful. Well, here we go again. They sent us the wrong tow truck. Been here before. I ain't putting my motorhome on this one.
Stay. Go. Inside.
Ain't no way. Yeah, that tow truck driver basically, he saw our motorhome and he said, screw that, and he left. He didn't even say goodbye. So, looks like that's how our day's gonna go. Don't ever pick a non-RV roadside assistance, because last time this happened to us with our truck camper, they could not send us the right tow truck. They never sent us the right tow truck. We need a tow truck that can lift the front of the motorhome and tow it off on the rear wheels. I don't understand why these don't exist. Why can they not send us the correct tow truck? This is gonna be an all-day freaking fair.
Thank you. So Roadside just called and said they can't find a provider right now. So my options are call 911, nobody's hurt, no accident, not calling 911, or I could do all the work and I could call around and try to find a tow, and then I could go through the work of paying for it and then having to fight to get reimbursed for it. So that really pisses me off. I don't usually name companies in our videos. We try to keep it neutral, but this is Progressive Insurance. We went through Good Sam, and Good Sam gave us Progressive, and it's supposed to be an RV specific policy. They're supposed to know the size of our vehicle, the weight of our vehicle, the specs, all that. They're supposed to have providers that are able to know exactly what we are, that they can't show up with just a normal car or tow truck. And they don't, they're clueless right now. They're absolutely clueless. And we had the same problem with State Farm with our truck camper back in 2019. So big X for State Farm, big X for Progressive. I don't know what we're gonna do. But if you have any recommendations for RV insurance, if you're out there on the road full time and you've had some great experiences, please let us know, because right now, I mean, we thought about supplementing our Roadside with Good Sam, but we heard terrible things about that because there were so many people putting in calls they couldn't get services either. But there's another couple RV clubs out there that have Roadside, so maybe you have a better experience than what we're having right now. We're going to stay positive despite all this. We are safe. We're on the side of the road. I just want to get this started and get it taken care of because it's very inconvenient, of course. So on my side of things, dealing with the insurance company has been a nightmare. They can't find a tow truck, but we have found a tow truck. They're going to charge us $845 for the tow, which is great because at least they can tow us. But Progressive told us that we can file a reimbursement, but they haven't told us how much they'll cover on that reimbursement. So we're trying to make a sound decision, a wise decision, and not put all of our money into the tow and put the money into the fix. So I'm on hold. I've been transferred around 15 times, trying to talk to a Progressive representative to tell me what the dollar amount is that they will pay for our tow. Once they figure that out, we call back and we'll hopefully get towed out of here within an hour and a half or so. The longer I have to wait for Progressive, the longer we have to wait for the tow truck. But at least Lindsay found a tow truck, which is great. Still really pissed off at Progressive. Seinfeld, a little ginger ale, it's supposed to look like bourbon, a little relax. You know, the ambiance of the highway is just, it's incredible. Like,
We should camp here more often.
I don't know why more people don't pull over on the side of the road and just hang out for 5 hours.
Yep, still waiting. Been here since 7:15 a.m. It's almost 12. Lunchtime. Hey, at least we are in our motorhome with food. You want to cook something? Finally here! The tow truck's here, and it's the right one. Ooh, we just had to call it for ourselves. No roadside assistance. Don't need that. No. Look at this monster. Heck yes! That's the way you do it, baby. Oh yeah. Ask him if he's a mechanic. Yeah, baby. Weirder than the truck breaking down. Chris says this is one of the weirdest things that's ever happened to him.
Well, what's weird is our vehicle is about to move, and you're sitting there, and you don't drive it anyway, and I'm sitting here, and I'm going to be following my vehicle, my RV, my home, but I'm not the one driving it. And it's not even being driven. No. It's being pulled, which is just, it's...
I think what was even weirder is when we had our truck camper that was like over 12 feet tall. And the same thing happened. We could not get roadside assistance to send us the right tow truck.
and they kept sending us flatbeds. So finally we were just like, screw it. We'd waited all day, literally all day long, and we took the last one.
Well, the guy was nice.
The guy was super nice. He was from South America. He was amazing. We hit it off with him really well, and he's like, let's just do it. And he goes, I probably shouldn't because we're way too tall, but let's see if we make it. I thought we were gonna run into overpasses.
It's moving.
Well, here we go. It's going. There she goes. Into traffic.
Oh, that's such a not comfortable feeling.
There she goes.
But it's moving. It's Rich.
Ah,
Hey, Rich. No, it's gas. It's the V10. Yeah, no, and the V10s apparently are known for throwing the spark plugs at some point. And so we suspected that, and like I said, we went to 2 mechanics and they both said other things. And one definitely said not spark plug, but then Lindsay's nephew came over and started tinkering with the plugs and the coil
you
packs.
can feel the tick in the coil pack.
Yeah, he said he could feel the tick in his fingers by touching the coil pack, and he put some pressure on it, and the sound got better. So that's what we thought it was, but the mechanics refused to do anything about the spark plugs, and so we're hoping, praying that's all it is, and that it didn't do any more damage when it threw it.
I mean, it could be something else, but I don't know what else it could be.
Yeah.
Because of valve train.
Okay, will do. It's okay. All right. Bye.
Well, RV just got dropped off at this Ford certified dealer mechanic, and $600 freaking dollars to diagnose the problem. $600. Another $250 per hour for labor. We can't afford that. And I don't know what we're gonna do. My trip is less than a month away, and I don't think we're gonna be able to do it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it. We can't afford it. This is literally going to ruin us. And it was all preventable. But nobody would give us the time of day just to change out the spark plugs. Maybe that's the number one major con of owning a motorhome. Finding somebody to work on them. Because nobody will. Only $600 diagnostic, $250 hour shops will. So if you can't afford that, then don't buy or live in a motorhome.
So the RV is at this truck repair center. It is massive, it's huge, and it's like a dealer, so we're paying dealer prices. Lindsay's really pissed off about it. I'm pissed off about it because we did the right thing. We took it to 2 mechanics, the kind that we always go to, the mom and pop shops that, you know, always work with you, and they charge fair and you pay fair and all of that. This is retail, so we're paying retail prices right now, but we really don't have an option. It's going to be $644 to diagnose it, then $254 an hour. So, moral of the story, kids, if you're watching, go become a mechanic because there's good money in it and there's a high need for it, especially if you're a diesel mechanic. I would go back in time and do that if I could go back in time and do that. But here's the reality. It's money we don't have. It's time that we kind of have. It's going to cost us right now. We're going to drive down to Florida. Then we're going to do all of our doctor's appointments, find out what's wrong with this, authorize or not authorize the work to be done, and then we're going to drive back up and pick it up. So that's time. It's going to cost a bunch of money, and that's it. That's life. That's time and money. Time and money, time and money, time and money. I preach it all the time to convince myself. That's all it is. This is our life. And it sounds sometimes crazy. People say, oh, you live in an RV. What a nice life. Well, the reality is, if we were doing another life, if we were working normal jobs and paying rent and all that, we couldn't afford that life either. It's outrageous what America has become. This isn't a bitch fest about America. This is just to say, this is the life we've chosen, and there are consequences for it. Just like if we had a house and the air conditioning unit needed to be replaced, there's 10 grand. The roof needs to be redone, there's 20 grand. So would we have had that money? No. Our RV is $20,000 worth of our work, plus now a couple grand more. We wouldn't have been able to replace a roof. We wouldn't have been able to replace a air conditioning unit in a house. So Lindsay's pissed off, I can tell.
Yeah.
But what do you want? What else do you want?
Yeah.
I mean, it can't magically be repaired.
Nope.
There's no leprechauns coming along with pots of gold to give
Nope.
us. So
I'm just frustrated. It's more than just pissed. I'm just frustrated. And I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel yet.
Well,
Until, you know...
the light at the end of the tunnel is this the life that you want to live? If this is the life you want to live, then this is what we're going to be up against, and that's the light at the end of the tunnel. If this is not the life that you want to live, then we need to make some different decisions. And I honestly, the last 6 months, I've been trying to figure out what else could we do? What else would we do? What are we called to do? We're called to wander, and we have owned that for 6 years of our lives because God pulled us on the road. And that's where I'm going to settle this right now, is that I have to trust that God put us in this situation, or the situation happened and God protected us through it. There's a whole lot of theological discourse over why does God allow bad things to happen to good people, and blah, 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 blah. The reality is, I believe in God's provision, period. I believe that God is providing for us in this moment. Maybe it's for you, whoever's watching this, if anybody's watching this. Maybe this experience is going to transform your life in a radical way, and that's okay for me. If that's what God wants to use this experience for in my life, I'm okay with it. If it helps you, if it changes your life, if you are radically altered in some way, even if it's a small change, I don't know, I don't care, because I feel like God has called me to this lifestyle, and He hasn't said go hang it up, go be an insurance salesman. I could be an insurance salesman. My best friend's got a great brokerage. I could go sling insurance. I'm not called to that. I could go be a teacher. I just let my teaching license expire last year. I kept it for all these years. I could go back through that process and do it all over again. I don't feel called to it. I don't. I feel called to making an impact with this lifestyle on the road. What we're building in Baja is freaking incredible and amazing to help people to move the world, to do incredible things. Not just campers and RVers, but the communities that we've connected with, the nonprofits that are going on there. That's bigger than this bill. That in itself is bigger than this bill. And that's just how I'm going to think about it. And Lindsay, I hope you think about that too. What this is a hiccup. If it costs us $4,000, it's a hiccup. Do we need to go out and make $4,000? Yes, because we don't have it. So it's a hiccup. If we can't, and I think we talk about money a lot, and money is not a driving factor for us. Money just makes the world go round. But the reality is, Lindsay has been planning this trip in her heart to go with her dad to fish in all 50 states, and we have worked for a year and a half incredibly hard. I don't want to say we worked harder than anybody in the world, but we have worked so freaking hard that it's like it's being pulled away. And I don't want that, because Lindsay needs this trip and the impact.
Like we can't do it at all.
But there's something bigger to that. There's something bigger. Either God's going to switch course and say, look, you're going to take your father fishing in all 50 states, but you guys need to come off the road for 2 years, and this is what I want you to do. Or we're going to suck it up, and maybe this costs $10,000, and now instead of 25 we have 15, and now we've only got 3 months on the road, and we're going to have to suck it up. But our audience is loyal, and our audience spreads the story, and we get crazy amounts of views, and we have crazy amounts of impact, because that's what our life is about. It's not about money, it's about impact. We need our audience to be huge, because Lindsay has a story to tell. It's a story that other people know. Millions of people know this. We did the numbers, and I don't know them now. How many people die in accidents every single day? How many people die of heart attacks every single day? In America, in the world. Those are people you don't get to say goodbye to. So Lindsay's story is important because right now she's trying to connect people to people you've lost touch with. That means something, whether it's family or an old friend. If they got in the car and they got in an accident, or they went to work and they had a heart attack on the way home, like, you never get to see them again. And that's Lindsay's story. Lindsay's trying to help that. That's impact. So what is $10,000 compared to that impact? If we can reconnect you with your son, your estranged son, or your father, or your mother, or an uncle, or somebody who meant the world to you, if Lindsay, through her story, can do that, it's worth the $10,000. I don't care about the money. I care about the money because we need it. That's all I care about. The money makes the wheels turn. That's it. That's it. So in order to get the wheels turning, we're going to have to spend money. And money's a tool. Money's not an end. Money's a tool. If you're watching this right now and it moves your heart, we would greatly appreciate you helping us tell our story. Maybe you want to be the miracle in our life right now. Maybe you know somebody who's going to be the miracle in our life right now that will allow us to continue this life, to continue to create the content that drives change in people's lives, that makes people better, that makes them live more what we call abundantly, because that's what we're called to do. Unless God knocks on the door and says, "I got something else for you." Until He says that, we just got to take it on the chin. And this one put me on the mat. Put me on the mat when I looked up and I saw $644 diagnosis, $254 an hour. That's about $125 more. It's double what the normal mechanic rate would be. But it's this place. It's where we found. It's the one place that would take us. So I'm done talking. I'm ready to get driving. Are you?
Yeah.
We're gonna go down to Florida. We're gonna get in late. We're gonna get in as the sun's setting, but maybe we'll go down the dock and have the sunset down there and get
We even have fishing poles.
Yeah, nope. My dad does though. So let me go grab the fishing poles before we leave.
Yeah.
So we have our fishing poles and our fishing gear.
Drive the car over there.
Yep. All right. So we're gonna get this party started.
Well, hi, Pavement Princess. You've been great to us up until now. Nothing we can do but leave her here. See you later.
We got fishing poles, we got our tackle box, now we're ready to go. That's the crazy thing about living with your entire life in your RV and then having to leave your RV is you can't leave those little things that are very important behind. So anyway, we got the fishing poles, got the tackle box, we're gonna hit the road.
Nope, thank you. Pick your feet up. Nope, I grabbed the wrong one.
We don't bring no crap in Florida.
Say it again.
We don't bring no crap into Florida.
Isn't that right, Huckleberry? The dogs are excited. We just turned down our street to the house where Chris grew up and the dogs grew up.
Evie knows where she is.
And our camera card got full, and because we are now living out of the CRV, I can't reach another card to put a new card in the camera. So sorry for the shakiness. I'm just gonna have to do with the phone. But the dogs are all excited. Everest recognized it. Huck is acting like he does when he wants to chase a
It's a white house.
squirrel. Oop, I said it. He still heard me even though I whispered. Squirrel. Look who's there. Who is it?
And it's CAT. You better look out, Storm. I'll give you a second to run, buddy. I don't know that he remembers as well as she
I don't
does,
think
but he
that she
clearly
does.
remembers.
He remembered running up and down the street.
Yeah. Oh, but he knows, Mom.
Yeah. Hey, girlfriend. How's my girl, huh? How's my girl?
Why am I carrying the fishing pole? I'm not.
Yay!
I might be the one.
We're gonna go fishing as soon as we get home. We're going to the lake. Chris's dad has been catching striped bass, redfish. Never caught I've caught a largemouth bass out here years ago.
Yeah.
But mostly redfish, which is kind of odd that you can catch redfish and a largemouth bass in the same lake, but it's brackish. And I guess sometimes you get more fresh water, therefore you get more freshwater fish, but most of the time it's mostly brackish. And the redfish don't mind that. See any fish? You see the fish? He's my fishing dog. He loves it when we catch fish.
Nada. They call it fishing, not catching.
We got skunked.
Yeah, but I wasn't expecting anything. I'm just happy to be here.
It's windy, but you know, we get to come down the dock. It's been a year.
Everybody knows it's windy.
Everybody knows it's windy?
Yeah, that's a song.
Oh, I didn't know that was a song.
You know it's a song.
No, I don't.
It's in Breaking Bad.
Oh, well, I
Yeah.
probably know the chorus or something, but I don't
Everyone
know
knows
what it's called.
windy.
Oh, I know what that scene was for.
Yeah. Everybody knows that
Yeah.
scene. If you haven't seen Breaking Bad twice, you're not alive.
Oh, we've seen it
3 times.
4 times.
4 times?
I think we've seen it 4 times.
Too many times. Too much of
many
our
times.
life went into Breaking Bad. It is windy, but it is beautiful out here. I love being back here. We may or may not fill you in on backstories of life and home, but this is where I grew up from 9 months on. My parents have lived in the same house for now 42 years, and that's a long time for anybody to live in a house. But it's this is a big part of it. And so is their pool, which we'll get the dogs in.
Oh yeah, the dogs love the pool.
Going for WALKS.
We can't say the S. There's 2 S words. There's squirrel. And there's sweat.
Yeah, and they'll do both tomorrow.
Yeah.
For now, I think I'm pretty happy to be here, other than not having to unpack. But we'll make that happen.
Oh my gosh, the car's a mess. Car is a mess. But
I'm happy to be here. It's good to
All
see
right,
my
for
parents.
now,
And yeah,
let's call it a night.
call it a night.
Yep, gonna end this video here. Thanks for watching, and thanks for following our crazy journey, because it's been a crazy one today. Crazy week, but
Crazy.
day especially.
This time 12 hours ago, we were sitting on the side of the road. Not the side of the road, the side of the interstate.
12 hours. We've been up since 5:30,
Yeah.
and it's now almost 8.
It's after 8.
It's after 8,
Yeah.
so it's been a long day.
It has been. So let's call it.
Although the drive to Florida was only supposed to be 350 miles, this proved to be more stressful and costly than the 2,000-mile trip across the U.S. With no certainty of what the issue is with our motorhome or when it could be repaired, we were put into an indefinite waiting period, praying every day for good news.